United States is exceptional, literally bound by different rules to you and me, other nations, states, groups. You see, they have the right to decide who rules where, like in Venezuela. They decide who is a dictator and who isn't. They decide which dictators rule and which don't.
The United States supports any number of dictators who violate human rights, including the leaders of Egypt, Saudi Arabia, the UAE. Do you not see that the United States' support for other brutal dictators around the world undermines the credibility of the argument you're making?
No, I don't think it does. I think it's separate. And I think, look, in this administration, we're not afraid to use the phrase Monroe Doctrine.
It's an archaic 19th century policy that basically says no nation in the Americas may be colonized by Europeans, out of bounds for Europeans, and everyone not from the Americas. A little later, Teddy Roosevelt twisted this policy, turned it inside out. Instead of protecting American nations, the US now toppled governments it didn't like there. Now they've twisted it again. Now they think they can do this everywhere, all over the world. Venezuela, and a bill that legitimizes US meddling there.
To require threat assessment, a strategy to counter Russian influence in Venezuela.
In effect, they're trying to justify meddling in Venezuela partly because it's too friendly with Russia, and saying, no, not that Venezuela asked for it, not even America's champ there.
I do not see broad support for Maduro. I believe that there is respectful participation of Russia in regards to watching the fate of our country, but the same goes for other countries that are paying attention here.
America knows better. In Syria, half the world away, it's the same story.
In Syria, the United States will use diplomacy and work with our partners to expel every last Iranian boot and work through the UN-led process to bring peace and stability to the long-suffering Syrian people.
For the life of me, I don't remember Syrians asking the United States to get rid of Iranians, but America knows better. Africa, too many Chinese there, thinks Washington. Up to no good. Now is the time to boot them out.
China uses bribes, opaque agreements, and the strategic use of debt to hold states in Africa captive to Beijing's wishes and demands.
Goes without saying, it wasn't the Africans who asked for this. In fact, according to the latest Gallup poll, most Africans approve of Chinese investment, plans, leadership in Africa. But the United States knows better. You know why? Because it's special, exceptional, better than you or me, officially.
Our mission is to reassert our sovereignty, reform the liberal international order. This is a unique, exceptional country.
I'd imagine Mr. Monroe would turn in his grave if he could see what his benign policy, protecting the weak from European colonizers, what that has been turned into. A license to kill, to meddle, to topple governments and politically burn continents. Oh, you've got to be special, all right.
This Monroe Doctrine degenerated, especially during the Reagan administration, and it is now actually representing all the ills that the Western Empire managed to impose on Latin America. So it represents Plan Condor, for example, in southern cone of South America, the disappearances of thousands, tens of thousands of South Americans, and imposing a Western-style dictatorship. Bolton is threatening. He's saying, look, either you are going to behave as we tell you to behave, or it will be returned to Pinochet's dictatorship in Chile. And we are going to actually throw our weight and mobilize our mercenaries.